Like this to me is like true history. Without shoes like this, we don't have whatever we got now.
What's good, world? This is Max Resitar from SLAMKicks, and you're watching The Soul Connection. This is the series dedicated to the most legendary basketball sneakers of all time. To find out why they really do, connect us all. Today, we got the Air Jordan 2. Now look, I know what you're thinking, I know what you're saying. Why we gotta talk about the 2? It don't matter. Mike didn't do anything special in this pair. And look, let me just say up top, I forgive you. For real, I forgive you for thinking that way. It's not your fault that you think that way, because you've been fed a big lie by all those big accounts with the big followings that don't post a sneaker enough, by a brand that doesn't release it enough. Because the truth is, this is a game-changing pair right here. Game-changing. Sneaker construction, sneaker design, overall branding, all things that got changed by this sneaker. So when this came out in 1986 to today, where we are in 2021, things can be traced back to this sneaker. Again, I know what you're saying. What's this ball guy talking about? It's just the Air Jordan 2. It's not that special. Okay, give me a second. Let's get nerdy real fast. Let's talk about sneaker construction. And let's talk about this area right here, this midsole area. Because prior to the Air Jordan 2, most sneakers were created with a cup sole. A cup sole is a one-piece unit of rubber. Simple, plain, cost-effective. All you gotta do is just drop the upper right on top, stitch it together, you're good. But a cup sole is limited. The potential for design is not really there. So, what was happening when the 2 was getting cooked up by Bruce Kilgore, famous for the Air Force One, and Peter Moore, famous for the Air Jordan 1, those 2 guys, they were like, yo, we're not gonna use a cup sole. We're gonna try something completely different. And different is the best way to describe the Air Jordan 2. Because instead of a cup sole, they used a soft foam midsole, and on top of that foam midsole, they layered a full-length Nike Air unit. Cushioning, cushioning, cushioning. Different. And it was so different that they didn't even want to manufacture that in America. Instead, they went to Italy because they wanted to have fine Italian craftsmanship for a luxury basketball sneaker. That's how different they wanted to be. They weren't just trying to make another pair for MJ. They were trying to make him a luxurious basketball performance monster. And they accomplished that. They accomplished that by being so different that their braveness is still echoed throughout history today. So with this midsole now completely new, just do me a favor. Jump forward a year, right? Just a year to the Air Jordan 3. To Tinker Hatfield, to Visible Air, to where that sneaker lives in your head and your heart and how legendary that sneaker is. And rightfully so, of course. But that sneaker is not possible without the 2 and without the advancements that Bruce Kilgore and Peter Moore made with this pair. And again, let's get into design, right? Think about the 3. The elephant print that you see on that sneaker, that fake animal print. Oh, look at that. There's some fake animal print on the Air Jordan 2 a year before that. This fake lizard skin would become a defining feature on the 2, and it would be joined by a brand new heel counter, a plush collar up top, an update on the perforations that made the Air Jordan 1 so famous, and tumbled leather all throughout this upper right here. Brand new design lines, a completely new design language, completely revolutionized design for basketball footwear. So with the design and the manufacturing taken care of, they have one more trick up their sleeve. Before we get into that though, to get another perspective on the Air Jordan 2, I linked up with Chris Chase, aka Nightwing2303 from Wear Testers. When did you start playing ball in the 2?
Well, so the first time that I played in these was when I was still like, I wouldn't say fairly new to YouTube, but I was like in my middle of like my tenure that I've been on here so far. And I decided to do this thing that I dubbed the Air Jordan Project, where I went back and played in every single Air Jordan from 1 to 23. And the 2 was the second model. And I I didn't think that the early models were going to be any good, and this was the one that like it was like the second round where the 1 was dope, but then the 2, I was like, damn, this thing is still a beast on court. And I'm pretty sure it's because of the changes that they make. So I don't think that these are identical to the originals, but it's still like a very, very good shoe on court, very much playable.
Is there anything specific that you noticed from a basketball standpoint?
The first thing I was just surprised with was that traction, because it doesn't look like what we have come to know and love like over the years. Even original stuff from Nike basketball, like the Blazer had herringbone, works great. It's like tried and true traction. This is very, very flat and smooth. And I noticed that this really doesn't have any effect when dust is present versus herringbone, where herringbone dust will get caked in there. You got to wipe it off. This guy just kind of like pushes dust off to the side. So that was the first thing I was mostly surprised with. And then the cushion is top loaded instead of embedded like they used to be. So you can actually feel the air in here once you break it in, which was another surprise.
When do you think the herd opinion of these were a bad sneaker started?
You know, that's a great question because I don't even know that. The 03, 04, I think it was like right around then is the Chrome release, and that was my first pair of 2s. I hadn't played in them though until I was on YouTube. So in my opinion, like the old Jordans were always what I was like gravitated towards even in high school. So when they started doing the retros back in like 99, 2000, I was just stoked to be able to get a chance to relive what OG heads were able to get. And so when stuff like this came out, I was just excited. So I love these. I think that these are fantastic. I know that a lot of people don't like them. I still don't know if they can articulate why. I think that it's just that herd mentality, like you were saying, where like people are just like, nope, those aren't cool. Even though back then these were pretty dope. And I still think that they're dope today. But to me, this was always like that game-changing type of shoe, especially if you compare it to the previous model. Like this was, like you were saying, no branding. That at that time in the 80s, that was unheard of. For him to remove the swoosh, put on the big old logo right there is crazy. The tech was awesome. The shoe was manufactured in Italy with Italian leather. They did do the reptile skin. It was just, everything was new. And at the time it was like, yo, like this is wild. And this is the predecessor to the one that really changed the game, which is the 3. And so to have stuff like this on a shoe, even today, like we don't get shoes with full length cushion like this. And I wish that we did, but yeah, so I don't know what it is about people that dislike this, but I think that they should do a little bit of research because it would only benefit them to learn the tech specs, the history, the whys, and the hows that these products were able to come to market.
For anyone out there that doesn't understand why the Air Jordan 2 is such a good sneaker, can you give us one sentence on why it is worth our time?
Ooh, one sentence. Nah, man, this is just fresh, that's all. So, yeah, you just have to know. You have to know. You have to experience it. So there's padding in here. You don't get that today. There's leather on here. You really don't get that today. And for your money, you want something that's genuine, you know what I mean? So, yeah, these are just fresh. Trust me, they're fresh.
And then lastly, is there anything I missed that I didn't ask you about that you wanted to bring up for the 2?
Well, there's stuff that I know about the 2 that I don't know if we're allowed to talk about. Like I know that they're remastering them. And it's supposed to be this year. So I've heard that we're gonna get like OG tech specs, OG box. The box for this shoe was fucking dope, dude. Like it had like a cool like wing logo on the top, man. So yeah, so I've heard that stuff's coming back. I really hope that it is. We've seen like little hints to it, like with the last Mellow. Remember the Mellows with the Denver colorway? They put 4 eyelets right here instead of the 3 that we're used to seeing. And the 4 was like a callback to the original shoe and its original specs. So I've heard that we're gonna see that. I just hope that it's received well, because I think that the brand might be even scared to put this shoe out because a lot of people bag on it without really knowing the history. But I think that the brand has like a really heavy task right now to teach people about the history of this shoe. And if they do it right, then people will really fuck with it.
We just gotta say allegedly, and then we're covered.
Allegedly, all of this is gonna happen. I don't know if it's fact. I've heard through the pipeline. Don't sue me. So it's just all in fun.
So again, with the brand new manufacturing process, the design completely new, their quest to be different wasn't over just yet. Do me a favor. You see any Nike swooshes on here? No, right? No Nike swooshes. And this is over a decade before Jordan Brand officially became Jordan Brand. Kilgore and Moore were down to be so different that they removed the swoosh from a Nike product. They could have been institutionalized. It was that crazy. But they believed in this design so much, and in this brand new logo right here, and in Michael, of course, that they took off the swoosh from a Nike product. Branding was everything. It still is everything. And back in 1986 when this came out, Nike wasn't exactly Nike. They were popular. They were making good money, but they weren't the Goliath that they became. And to take off a logo like that, to take that big of a risk, crazy. So crazy that there's another brand trying to do that right now. So crazy that it actually worked. And that what started with the 2 just got turned up with the 3 in the Jumpman logo. And now that logo is known all over the world. Jordan Brand is $1 billion corporation. Billion with a B, not an M. It's billion with a B. It's $1 billion corporation. And this sneaker helped to launch it. Whether or not people knew it back then, and whether or not you know it right now, this sneaker really did help to launch $1 billion sneaker empire. So with the brand new manufacturing process, completely new design language, and the lack of a Nike swoosh in place of a brand new logo, can't you see how the Air Jordan 2 is connected to the rest of sneaker history? Thank you for watching The Soul Connection. I'm Max Ressatar.